they like pan down to the door, and then you see Angela on the other side on the ground being like, I need eyes on Tucker at all times. I was like, this is brilliant editing, brilliant TV. Like I love this season. If you can't.
No, it is brilliant editing. I don't know who is doing the editing, but dude, the fact that they could even get the cinematography, the satisfaction of T-Court at the end of the episode saying, we did that. Like, I was like, oh my, this is like, you couldn't script that. Like, this is like actual TV gold.
I know. Big Brother got a facelift. It got a rhinoplasty. It got Botox. It got filler. It looks totally different. But
the glow up is real. The glow up is real.
Yes.
Welcome to the Secret Alliance podcast, where we talk about the game of Big Brother with the people who play it. I'm Jason Guy from Big Brother Season 3, joined by Hannah Chaddha from BB23 and BB13 winner Rachel Reilly. We're discussing Big Brother's wild transformation from chaos-causing contestants to game-changing twists here on BB26. We'll reveal why we think this season has viewers glued to their screens. Just know, our recap contains some Week 5 spoilers.
There's a lot to talk about with Big Brother this season. It's off to the races. Like, this game, from the beginning, got going. Hannah, Rachel, what are your thoughts so far here, a little more than a month into BB26?
Wow, I feel like there's so much action this season, and like, I think a lot of that has to do with the third nominee and the AI arena.
Okay. I was saying to Hannah just a few minutes ago before we got this going, I said, I want to know everybody's take on it. And I know some people go, oh, I don't like the three nominees. I think this is amazing. There is a path forward. If you are the back door and they're trying to get rid of you and you end up on the block after the veto, you still have a way to save yourself if you can win a competition. I love this as a player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, same. I normally don't like the, I guess, like saturation of twists, because we've seen in modern seasons of Big Brother that there are just a bit too many twists and turns, and that takes away from the player's ability to just play the game. But this season in particular, I think the twist has worked out in their favor, because as viewers, we don't know who the two people are going to be at the end of the week come live eviction. So as Jason said, there really is a path forward for everybody. It makes it unpredictable as an audience member. You don't know who's going to be up. You don't know who's going to go home. There are all of these scenarios that you have to account for. So I'm really enjoying that. And the comps this season, I think we've said this before, have been amazing. Like I know the comp department got an overhaul in BB25, but the comps have been so equitable. And I know Tucker has won his fair share of them, but it's not like these are comps that are catered towards big, brawny, athletic guys. So
these are like amazing comps. I even like was saying, I think that these are the most unique, equitable, and like visually entertaining comps that we've seen in a long time, because when you watch them, you get excited. It's not like you're just watching like whatever. There's like just a lot going on. And I think that they're like visually stimulating as well for the audience.
Can I make a confession here? And I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but a lot of times in years past, I have said, okay, I sort of get what the comp is. Let's fast forward and see who wins it. Yeah. Because it feels like it's long and drawn out. But when they're exciting like this, you're like, oh, I'm tuning in. This is great to watch on TV. Now, I do love an endurance comp when we can watch it on the feeds. Like that does get exciting, even though you sit there for forever and you go and you do something and you come back and 2 hours later and you're like, oh, the people are still, the three are still there, you know. But it is a testament to the new team. And I didn't know that we had a new team behind the comp. So that's interesting to know from both of you.
Yeah. And I think that they were saying that was the main thing that they wanted to focus on with their budget. Like, you can just tell that the budget is like, it's just, it just feels like they're putting more into it. And it feels like they're putting more time into it. And I feel like with the comps, they're just like, the comps department is getting just creative and fun. And it feels newer. It just feels more like they did an overhaul. Like which they needed to be honest.
Absolutely. And they're like, do you remember in seasons past, the comp itself will take up like 20 minutes of the episode, which you don't need to see that. Like the comp itself was probably just 7 minutes, and then they drag in this 20-minute long segment.
That's funny. Yeah.
You end up fast forwarding just to see who wins, and then boom, we get the game moving along again. But this season, even when it comes down to the editing, it doesn't feel like they're putting anything in for fluff. Like I'm genuinely engaged and almost entranced throughout the entirety of the episode. So I don't know what they decided to do differently, but this season just makes me excited in the sense that after 23, you're dealing with that fog and that like disillusionment from your own season. So some people end up taking a step back, and then 24 was hard for a lot of reasons because of Taylor and her mistreatment. And then 25 was just dull to me, no offense. But this is like the first time where I feel like I have gotten my spark back for the show of Big Brother, because it was my favorite show before going on. So that makes me really happy because it was such a big part of my life before, and I'm excited that it can continue to be a big part of my life.
I think we're also seeing a lot of the players making these like riskier decisions and speaking more freely and not playing safe. And I think like it feels like casting might have even gone in a different direction.
Weren't you saying that, Rachel? Like they brought in maybe some new people towards the end?
They did. So they brought in the casting department from Traders US season 1. So I don't know, like I've asked Erin, I was like, Erin, is Angela yours? And she said, no, she wasn't theirs. So I don't know where I think they found her because she like was on Dr. Phil and Let's Make a Deal. And also apparently she's a big fan. Like I have been trying to get all the gossip from Jesse. Like he's just like, doesn't tell me anything, but all I know is apparently Angela was a big fan. So I think she probably was applying and wanted to be on TV and wanted to do this. And she is very calculated. However, it works. It's working. And her outbursts, like they haven't been as calculated. And I appreciate that.
Okay.
Well, while we're talking, Angela, what does everybody think? Because I do think in the first 33, 34 days of this game, she has helped push some things along, like her or not. And I think same goes for Tucker. So let's kind of talk about these two. And I don't know if what the term is. It comes to mind like chaos, because it feels like that's what I would feel if I were living in there. I don't know. I'm just using a word, but is it good? Has it helped the game? What are you both saying?
I mean, I think 100%. Like, I'm very all about it. So I would not want to live with Angela. Like, do not put me in a house with her. But for like the television's sake, it is a lot of fun to watch. It's so much like, it's great entertainment. It's so much fun to watch. And this is the other thing I noticed. Like, Angela, like to her mat fight, she was thinking about it, prepping it like nights before, right? Well, we haven't seen her do that as much. And that's why I think her stuff that she's doing now feels more authentic, because she's not prepping it as much. Also, like with Tucker, I genuinely think he's just like bored and just like, whatever, I'm going to cause the most chaos.
Yeah.
I love it.
I agree. I think that Tucker and Angela are two of the biggest power players this season. And by power player, I don't mean they have the most agency or hold the most weight or have the most control over the house, because Tucker was on the outskirts. He wasn't like concretely aligned with anyone for a while, until like this last episode where we finally saw the formation of the 5 Points Alliance, which we can get into that. Angela has also been on the outs. But these two, I think by winning so many competitions between the two of them, it forces them to do something with that tangible power. And they're both just naturally chaotic people. I love watching them. I'm not going to lie. I think living in a house with Tucker as a player would terrify me to death, because he's so unpredictable. But that's his strategy. He said, I want to make sure that these house guests have no idea what I'm going to do. I don't want to give them any data so then they can try to figure out my patterns moving forward. I'm just going to make it super random for them. I think that's smart as a player, but that would scare me because that's just like this unknown factor that you can't control in the game. And I think Angela, honestly, she would be like my big D. Like I would just follow her around probably and get so much satisfaction out of it.
You would work with her?
No.
Oh.
I think I would just follow her around and be like, Angela, tell me a joke.
What do you think about Chelsie? Because I know I love her, and I feel like Chelsie, to me, I feel like she is doing that with Angela, where I see her a lot of the time, like talking to Angela, trying to like kind of like, I don't want to say console Angela, but kind of like trying to figure her out maybe. But then she doesn't work with her. She's not like in an alliance with her.
Yeah. I think that as a player, and let me know if you guys feel differently, some people's biggest mistakes can be they don't really massage their relationships with people outside of their core alliance. And then those people are the people, like, let's just say you're put up against a member of your own alliance, or, you know, the alliance ends up blowing up. You're going to need those peripheral numbers. And like with Cedric, for example, he was put on the block next to Rubina. He should have had the votes. He was part of the core, the Pentagon, the collective. He was well insulated. But the two people that he really needed, Emo and T-Core, felt neglected by him.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why he went home. So maybe Chelsie is like slowly but surely putting in that work because she recognizes Angela can be a number for me down the line. I need to not, you know, just disregard everyone outside of my core alliance because those are the people who are going to end up mattering. Angela is also probably going to find herself in jury. So that,
for sure.
That could be a number for you at the very end. I think she's probably playing the best game in the house right now. And I've said that.
Okay.
One.
I love this because I had her as one of my picks initially. Cedric was on that list too.
Oh, Cedric was playing a great game. I really was sad to see him go. But Chelsie,
this was part of a twist that sort of ended up moving against his direction. And had he won in the AI arena, it would have been a different outcome, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was anyone's game to win in that AI arena. Like we saw Rubina literally put her hand on the buzzer maybe half a second after.
Literally.
Mackenzie.
I got chilled. I was oh my.
I know.
It was so close. It was so close.
Mackenzie would have probably gone home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%.
In the house. So it's wild. But again, I just am enjoying the fact that it's so unpredictable as much as I am going to miss Cedric as a player.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be talking to him soon here on the podcast. I'm looking forward to that. I would love for us to dive into, while we're talking about Angela, a comment that we got, because when we interviewed Lisa here on the Secret Alliance, I said, what do you call Angela's behavior? And her definition was bullying. And we had somebody who said, it's not bullying, it's old school BB in our comments. What do you say about that? And specifically how she treated Lisa, because there have been other different things that have happened with Angela throughout this season.
Well, okay. I watched Hissam's video that he made about bullying and the technical definition of bullying. And he's like, you know, he has a PhD in psychology. And she is not doing the technical definition of bullying. However, like, she was really kind of like over the top with Lisa. But again, it's Big Brother. People, your roommates drive you nuts in that house. So...
Well, and people would bring back up Dick Donato and the way he acted, and people sort of at that time were like, "This is so fun to watch." And they had the theme music for him when he'd crank it up and hit pots and pans. And you know, is this different or the same? And I don't know. I would not want to be in that house, especially on the receiving end of Angela, because I would be a mess.
Oh yeah. Well, my question is too, like, it's a fine line between like straight up picking on someone and just being annoyed with them and like doing things to get on their nerves just because you're annoyed with them. Yeah. So
the comments with Matt, where she said crazy eyes, I think some of those things that are, you're talking a personal thing, or if it's attacking a family member or something on those lines where this is out of the game and out of the house. That's where, and again, I don't know, but that's where I felt very uncomfortable with what was happening there, just as someone viewing it on TV and seeing it online.
Yeah. I mean, Lisa's feelings are 100% valid. Matt's feelings are 100% valid. And if their feelings were hurt, then their feelings were hurt. Who am I to be like, oh, you like suck it up, big brother. I'm not going to tell anyone to, I guess, yeah, I'm not going to tell anyone how to feel.
You get to feel your feelings. That's valid. Yeah,
exactly. But as a viewer, we're watching a TV show. Our goal is to be entertained. Angela is entertaining. Now, granted, I do sympathize for Lisa because you could tell that she was kind of being ostracized by the house. It didn't seem like it really had her back. And that's got to be a very isolating feeling, especially in that game. So I never really saw her making it far. And a big part of Big Brother that people may not realize is you also just have to be like a pleasant roommate. Just as much as, you can get annoyed with your roommates at home and maybe that drives a wedge between you guys as friends, like that can very well happen in the Big Brother house. So I think there was a little bit of that, like the house guests were kind of fed up with her living habits / like cooking habits, cleaning habits, and that kind of trickled into the game. But I do feel bad because no one deserves to be just completely isolated. But it was when Angela did the walk, it was like, okay, this is funny. It's funny as a viewer. And when Angela called her a twit, not the nicest thing you can say, but certainly not the meanest that we've heard on Big Brother. We've heard so much worse. So those are my thoughts on that. Take them as you
I think too. Did you know the clip of Matilda? I pulled this up I made like a little compilation of it when Matilda calls the headmistress calls the little girl a twit.
Yeah.
So I was like, it is like, it's kind of almost like she watched like a bunch of old movies and like found these like cut downs that weren't horrible, but they were like enough to like make someone mad. And I have to give it to her for like villainous. Like, she's got the villainous down.
But now, Rachel, casting though. Did they cast her as the villain? We thought, oh, mom, in her 50s.
No, I wonder what she said in her casting tapes. That's what I'm thinking because she's playing the villain. Like she's playing the villain. So
I've not seen the Dr. Phil episode, but was she sort of a villain in this role and the way she spoke to her family members and all these things? And so they went, yes, she's going to do that in the house, and it's going to be great TV.
No, she was more of like the housewife character in that, where it's like she's like dramatic and a little bit like crazy. Like some of the stuff she said, you were like shock value. I think she got cast for shock value. That's what it is. And her shock value is turning into the villain. And that's a good casting choice. I mean, look, you need people that are shock value, right? That are like, you're just like, what?
Yes, television, and we want to be entertained.
Yeah.
And she is a character that has developed on the show. And if you like her or you don't, you feel something about her where there are some people and you go, wait, who is that? Like a month in, there are players I'm forgetting about. And you go, oh, right. They're in this game. I don't know what they're doing, but they're here. They are, you are a person in that Big Brother 26 house. And that's all you sort of think and know. And Angela's constantly, I mean, we're talking about her still nonstop. So how uncomfortable were you as a viewer when she walked in and was like listening in on this alliance conversation and then like, I want to join?
Oh, I loved that. I loved it. I was not uncomfortable at all.
But the kids are saying cringy. It's cringy.
No, it was Allison in the pot. Do you remember Allison in the pot, Jason? Come on. That was like a season after you.
Yeah. Or was that like, it wasn't 6? I thought it was, so it was really 4. Season 4.
Was it 4? I thought it was 4.
I don't know.
Was it 6? But anyways, it was Allison in the pot. Like it was literally like, we love when a good player will eavesdrop on a conversation. Like I thought it was so smart. And I wish like we saw more players eavesdropping on conversations because people don't do it. Well, why are you not doing it? Like literally, why are you not doing it?
Well, editing, like, do you guys remember they were talking we called it the the Queen's Gambit. I don't think that's what it's called, but that little side room upstairs. And then they like pan down to the door, and then you see Angela on the other side on the ground being like, I need eyes on Tucker at all times. I was like, this is brilliant editing, brilliant TV. Like I love this season. If you can't.
No, it is brilliant editing. I don't know who is doing the editing, but dude, the fact that they could even get the cinematography, the satisfaction of T-Court at the end of the episode saying, we did that. Mm-hmm. Like, I was like, oh my, this is like, you couldn't script that. Like, this is like actual TV gold.
I know. Big Brother got a facelift. It got a rhinoplasty. It got Botox. It got filler. It looks totally different, but
the glow up is real. The glow up is real.
Yes.
I do think when it comes to Angela, and I'll sort of end our chat here. Viewers are like, I'm fast forwarding if I don't like Angela, if that's what they're saying. But Julie Chen weighed into EW and said that that Angela had talked in an emotional diary room about having been bullied or feeling like a loner in elementary school, not bullied, but loner in elementary school. So, Julie's comment was hurt people. So I think that maybe there's even some of that is just, this feels like I'm not accepted and I want to be accepted. And she doesn't know how to do that. And so it turns into sometimes a blow up and sometimes it's tears. And and there's just this roller coaster of whatever will work to try and fit in. So I don't know. It's definitely something.
Jason, I have a question for you. What did you think about, because you just talked about Angela's tears and the crying and the emotions. What did you think about her scene with Brooklyn when she was trying to make herself cry? Do you remember Brooklyn was talking to her like, why did you keep picking me? And she was like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, why can't I cry?
Yeah, I felt like she was trying to go for that. I'm going to win an Emmy, a daytime Emmy award here for my performance.
Sometimes I get that vibe from Angela where it is all for the drama. She thinks that she's performing for television. Mm-hmm. And that's the Angela that I'm not a fan of. But the Angela that I'm a fan of is the one that gets on the floor and eavesdrops and listens to Tucker and then goes out and asks them to join the alliance. Like, brilliant.
Yeah, I love it. And she was like, I don't care that I'm on the bottom. Just
yeah.
Just let me be in it. Yeah.
And they all just looked around like, if anything, I thought the most awkward part was just the silence that followed her asking. And then like, looking around and then Tucker being like, yeah, sure. You want to call us the Tanks?
Yeah. And I don't believe that she's a real member of this. I think they will use her as a number, but it's going to, in some ways, they're going to need her at some point, whether she wins an HOH, she wins a veto and saves herself, she comes back in after an AI arena or something. And they're going to go, well, Angela's with us for now. Yeah. While we're talking alliances, which ones are real? And I don't know. I feel like the Alliance King this season is Quinn. He's in every group. And I think very soon, even though I like Quinn, I think very soon this is going to be a big problem for his game.
Yeah, I think it's already a problem for his game. I mean, I think after with this past week with his HOH, the fact that Cedric goes home on his HOH, the fact that he even got rid of one of his numbers and he had to pick sides, like, he already was playing a risky game, but now, like, I think it's blowing up in his face. And I don't think he knows how to get back in the top, but he's a smart player. I do like watching him too. He's a smart player. And I think if him and Tucker can come together, it could be brilliant.
Yeah. Rachel, I'd have to agree with you. I think everyone also recognizes how well insulated Quinn is, how well connected he is. Everyone says he's a snake. So it's only a matter of time before, you have to bite the head of the snake off. I'm not sure if that's the correct idiom.
I don't know the expression, but that sounds good.
Country, so I feel like I mess up everything. But anyway, I would not be surprised if Quinn is like the last pre-jury boot that we see, or if he's like a very early jury boot. I think he just got his hands entangled in too many alliances, too many things. now that Cedric is no longer in the house, I'm curious to see if Chelsie and Cam are going to continue working together so closely moving forward. I think they may have a crush on each other, so maybe that's like a pending showmance. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with the Pentagon. It's now a quadrilateral. I'm curious. Well, the collective is obviously no more because Joseph and T-Core and Chemo voted the other way, got rid of Cedric. But then also the 5 Points Alliance doesn't seem like a very real concrete thing to me. I do think that Chelsie and Brooklyn are very much aligned. I also think that, well, we know that Tucker and Rubina are a showmans, but Tucker and Angela, I do trust that final two. I know Tucker and Joseph have a final two. It doesn't seem like Joseph's very loyal to it as of right now because he doesn't see Tucker as having that much longevity in the house. But I think Tucker and Angela probably have like the realest relationship in that house because he used the veto on her. Now she's indebted to him, or at least she feels that way. So I did see something on Twitter about Tucker and Angela. Their alliance should be called Mother Tucker. It's so funny.
Okay. That is really funny on so many levels there. Last thing here, because we're going to start wrapping up. We got to get to a new twist, the AI Instigator. And I know we're still not really sure how this is going to work or play out. In past seasons, I know we all seem to agree, enough with the twist. But this season, the 3 nominees really does seem to work to go into the AI arena. What do we think about this AI Instigator coming soon?
Is it kind of like
know.
The Saboteur?
Go ahead, Hannah.
Is it kind of like the Saboteur twist from your season? Like, is that what we're kind of thinking?
Meets the America's Player.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking it's like Saboteur meets America's Player. Like they're just kind of a person that's in there to like cause a little more drama, which I don't think they need. So I don't know. I don't really understand why production unleashed this twist right now. But I wonder if they did it to make the house guests think that there's power to the twist because they're not going to actually know what the twist is. So I wonder if it's just something where they're kind of going to use it to like think that there's more power because the twists have caused so much chaos already in the house. I mean, I think I'm going to vote for Quinn. Like, I already started voting for Quinn because I think he's going to cause the most out of this AI Instigator. I see a lot
more
of people
than Tucker. I mean, I think Tucker's would love it.
But like Tucker's HOH right now, so I think like, oh, sorry, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. We're getting to all of this stuff. Yeah.
So I just feel like with Tucker, like I don't want to give him another thing. To be completely honest, I feel like if we also like. I don't want Quinn to think America hates him because we don't. So I feel like if Quinn doesn't get something, like I also don't want Joseph to think that we like pay attention to him because he's like kind of a floater. So, and I think Brooklyn's a floater. So I don't know. Like I kind of want Quinn to get this. Plus Quinn kind of is messy.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll be voting for Quinn. What about you?
I'm voting for Quinn. Yeah.
I mean, while I'm not the biggest Tucker stan, is that correct? I'm always like, I'm not sure how to use it, but I'll try. I think he could bring some drama to it. I am rooting for Quinn, and so I haven't voted yet, but I probably will vote for Quinn just because I do want him to have a little help right now because he's got himself into a mess. But it might be interesting to put somebody else into this role and let another player have at it and see what they could do where they're creating this misinformation in the house and spreading it through maybe a deep fake or however this goes. I think that could be very, very fun to watch because I don't know what some other players are doing who are a little quieter. And maybe this does turn into where America votes for someone they really like. And so it's Chelsie gets this opportunity, or I don't know who else, Brooklyn or somebody like that seems to be a fan favorite. I don't know.
Oh, I don't think Brooklyn's a fan favorite. In every blog I read, everything on Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit all say that they're like over Brooklyn. And anytime I mention she's a floater, everyone gets on board.
But in the house, they do seem to like her. Am I missing
the house guests like her. The house guests do like her. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
What about you, Hannah? Who's your vote?
So I did vote yesterday. I'll probably continue voting. I threw 4 votes to Tucker because voting ends August 22nd. So we won't actually see this twist take effect until week 6 after Tucker's HOH. So I did 4 votes in Tucker's direction. I sent 3 votes to Angela, 2 votes to Joseph, and 1 vote to Chelsie. These are just people who I think would have the most fun and wouldn't be afraid to maybe get their hands dirty with this twist. I want to be entertained. Yeah.
I think that's the whole goal, right? And that's why we're so invested in BB26. Anything that maybe from the live feeds that you both here in the last little bit here have noticed, or something that hasn't made the show maybe yet?
Ooh. Well, I think that the Rubina and Tucker showmance is heating up this week. So that's like definitely happening. And I'm all for it. I also really love Chemo and T-Core's relationship. Like, I think the two of them are just actual pals. Like, they just really enjoy each other. And I guarantee they'll be friends forever. I would enjoy to see more of them and that relationship on the show as well.
Agreed.
That's awesome. Okay, let's talk about these spoilers, as you mentioned, where things stand. We've got Tucker as our HOH winner, and the feeds cut during this thing, so we don't know exactly the negotiations that may have happened until we get to the episode. That's, they've saved it for TV, seemingly. What are your thoughts about him winning as the new HOH? We got Tucker in that spot.
Well, as soon as he doesn't win, because this AI arena twist isn't going to be forever. And so you're going to be able to backdoor him. And that's exactly what people are going to do. So I would not be surprised if this week we maybe lose Quinn, maybe Brooklyn, and then next week Tucker follows him out the door, whether that be to the jury house or whether that be home. Because I don't think any of us know how big jury's going to be this year. But I digress. Tucker, wait, what was the question?
How Tucker's HOH will go.
I actually don't think it's going to be very chaotic. He's made it clear that he's coming for Quinn. If he's not able to get Quinn, I think he's very suspect of Brooklyn. So I think it's just going to be one of those two, and we'll see who wins in the AI arena.
Okay, well, maybe you don't know the tea, Hannah. So
drop
the tea
it.
is that Tucker wants to win veto and use it on Quinn. He told Quinn if he has a secret, if Quinn can keep it, then he's going to use the veto on him if he wins the veto. Now, we don't know if he's lying to him, blowing smoke up his buns, whatever, but like, this could be a really cool game move. And Tucker likes to cause chaos and keep people expecting the unexpected. And I think it would be really interesting to see that happen. So I do think Tucker's HOH will be chaotic. We just have to see who wins veto to see what actually is going to happen. Because if Quinn does win veto and pulls himself down, I think Quinn's going to expose Tucker's little plan, and their rivalry is still going to continue. And also, Hannah, to your AI arena, Rich and Allison did an interview, and they said in their interview they like the AI arena and they want to keep it for as long as they can in the game. So I think that they're going to keep it the whole game. Possibly, who knows when they have to get rid of it, right? With 3 people. But then also, I don't think it could work in a double eviction. So I think we're going to see it go away. But they definitely said in their interview that they really like it and they think it's a good format and a good addition to the game.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So then who would his target be if not Quinn? Or do we think?
Well,
I think Brooklyn.
It seems like Brooklyn is his target. And if I'm not mistaken here, and stop me here, we haven't seen the Sunday episode, but just stuff from the feeds is Brooklyn, Cam, and Quinn are his 3 nominees. Am I right with that? Yeah. Okay. So it seems like he's telling the house it's Quinn, but to Quinn, he's saying, I'm really going to target Brooklyn. But if, let's say Brooklyn pulls herself off, then it could be Cam. And I think I am worried for Cam this week. I think because you guys are saying Brooklyn does have all this support in the house, that she may have the numbers. I don't know that Cam does if Quinn's off the block.
I think that it would be not smart for Tucker to get rid of Cam, because Cam is the other big athletic guy. People already know Tucker's a big athletic guy. So like they got rid of Matt, who was the other big athletic guy. So now you're going to get rid of Cam. And then what's going to happen? You're going to just have yourself as the only one that you can say is the big athletic guy. So that's really dangerous for Tucker. So I wonder if he realizes that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so interesting. Wait, why is he trying to save Quinn? Just for the chaos of it all? Just for the shock value? Like,
yeah, shock
Well,
value.
I think he wants to have a little bit of a secret alliance with him and thinks that he will be a good player to help him some in the game. So if he can, if he were to save him, it's like Angela, it's like, you owe me now. You owe me one. And I saved your life in this game. So I that's my take on it, just based on what we've heard in the house. Now, when we get the diary room and we see that in an episode on TV, then we're going to know if Tucker is just messing with Quinn right now, or if there's something real to this whole thing. I don't know.
I stand corrected then. This week's going to be chaotic. I thought it would just be a straightforward week. Either Quinn goes home, Brooklyn goes home. We'll see who wins in the AI arena. Maybe Cam's a casualty. Then we move into next week. Tucker goes home. But I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, that's the fun of the Angela Tucker show.
And then I've even heard, if this all goes down and blows up in their face, that Leah could be the end. If Brooklyn somehow saves herself, it could be Leah going. So I think it's like, I just don't think that anyone knows what's going to happen.
Yeah. And that's what some of these twists have really made for the season. Unpredictable. If you missed the interview that we did with Kenny, I had a really funny comment here as we wrap this up. We want to say thanks for watching, but this Mars QX7MQ told us a day ago, they were surprised Kenny made it through our less than 10-minute interview without asking to be dismissed. Hannah, Rachel. Poor guy. All right. But he's rooting for Tucker. So maybe he sees something.
Yeah. We shall see.
We shall see.
I'm so excited. This season has been a blast so far, and it's been even more of a blast getting to cover it with you two.
Yay!
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for checking out the Secret Alliance podcast. Make sure you tell someone who loves Big Brother all about us. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video, watch some more, and leave us your comments.